I think balancing all that is trying to find workflows that are repeatable across the different silos. Like what can be implemented and automated by AI so that you can reduce your time with customer support or with IT or with alert remediation. I think there are a lot of parallels in these spaces that we found.
Welcome to GenAI Talks.
I think there's so much that's going on under the world of software engineering that it has been a whirlwind the last 6 months alone, let alone 3 years. What's going on is that there's shifts happening that most people don't know about. That's why I have the honor of speaking with someone that's at the forefront of those shifts and helping companies of all shapes and sizes really navigate what's next when it comes to engineering and the way we bring software to the world. So, Bryan, can you introduce yourself, your company, and what are you doing today?
I'm Bryan. I'm Director of Product at Devz. We're based down in Southern California, and we are just providing tools to automate software development, like you mentioned. So engineering teams to focus on coding and less on the riffraff before and after. Started off in computer engineering, did some programming when I first started, DevOps, reliability engineering, realized A, working with computer nonstop, and then B, dealing with on-call rotations was not the life I was looking forward to. So pivoting to products has been great, just to still be in the space, work with really talented and sharp people, and then not be counted on to build a code.
What's going on in the software engineering space in general? Can you bring people in? What's different now than where it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago?
Like you mentioned, just an explosion of tools where with automated coding, copilots, the development platforms, really the barrier to entry for code has been decreased, which is great. So you need, I think, much less know-how to get started with development. And then it also makes just creating code, monitoring code, all simpler. So I think teams big and small are really becoming more efficient because they have these AI agents that can generate kind of boilerplate or the bulk of code that they need, and then they have their team just make sure it follows company guidelines, still is aligned with their best practices, and kind of can fine-tune it from there.
What are the most natural stages of product development and software engineering, like from ideation all the way through? Just give people just a high level as we go to talk about those further.
The primary components, I'd say, like you said, ideation. From ideation, you have your planning to project execution, development, and then after development, you have your deployment, testing, and then after you're tested, it's just the maintenance and operations. We kind of focus on the start and the end. We let the big guns right now focus on the development itself. So with Forge, we let people just go from their business and product requirements to their engineering roadmap and plans pretty immediately. So with the help of AI, it's able to use your previous tickets, context, things like that to estimate who should be working on this, how long it'll take, the costs, and then what the specific requirements are. That allow teams just to get it running with their development a little faster. And then with SetStreet, the other side, once you have your code deployed, tested, and your systems are running, it'll help just make sure any alerts that come up will be remediated autonomously using runbooks that your team defines. So they're still involved in guiding AI on how to resolve the issues, but you don't have to wake up at 2 a.m. to actually fix the service that's down.
What is something that you've learned from your customers that most people might not know, or big mistakes people are making today?
That's a really good point. I think we went in it bright-eyed and naive thinking, hey, like AI can automate XYZ. But particularly when it comes to production environments, you really need a high degree of quality, right? And people mentions trust at this event. So with production environments, you really need to ensure like you hit that pretty much 99% accuracy rate, so that even if you say it's faster, it's cheaper, the most important thing is it does it correctly. And I think especially in enterprise and large companies, they really value that stability, especially their production systems.
Can you show like what is the current state of how people are dealing with, at a large enterprise level, thousands of tickets, customer support issues, company demands, strategic goals? How do you balance all of that?
I think it's a challenge to balance all that, especially when you have different teams handling different things. To get them all on the same page is, executive level stuff. That's why we ostensibly pay them the big bucks. But I think balancing all that is trying to find workflows that are repeatable across the different silos. Like what can be implemented and automated by AI so that you can reduce your time with customer support or with IT or with alert remediation. I think there are a lot of parallels in these spaces that we found so that AI can have a similar framework and how it works, but be subtly tailored to different issues where it's like you basically receive a request, you have steps you need to perform, and then you close out that request.
Can you share about what does this mean for the consumer?
From the start, it just Forge will lower the barrier to entry, and I guess I should include AI in general, lowers the barrier to entry to build software. I think it's way more accessible now in terms of getting your idea started, brainstorming, all the way through building the product itself, right? You have all these vibe coding tools to help the hobbyists to try to build their apps and things like that. And then on the flip side, with the Sentry, the goal is just maximum uptime. So you don't have to worry about your game server being down or this website trying to go to not being available. So just making sure everything is online for people to be able to use whenever they want.
Great. So if you like what you're hearing, let us know in the comments. Again, this is what this is all about. Is you think about every software that you use, every technology you develop, behind the scenes, it's the technologies that Devz is bringing to market that will make those products better. What is something that maybe people might not be aware of that you see might change the game in the coming years, specifically about software engineering? What's that future big bet?
What has started now with computer use is just going to become more advanced. So instead of having GBT or cloud just be able to perform simple tasks in computer, it'll be able to reason for itself to find, hey, here's this file under this folder based on these names, based on the logic there, to then perform more actions for you. So I think that will just get even more developed, and then soon you will just have your little personal assistant who can do it all. You don't have to go to a specific application to tell what to do. It'll just be able to receive your instructions, go to the application or that tool, and then do what's necessary.
Last thing, how people stay tuned with you and follow your brand?
They can follow us on LinkedIn, Devz AI Technologies, and then they can always reach out to me. Happy to chat more about the space. And then, honestly, we have Instagram, but it's kind of weak. So LinkedIn is probably the best bet.
I know you're hearing this digitally the future. You'll get that news. See y'all soon, huh?
Thank you so much, Sam.
Thanks.
It's great.
What an honor.
Big ideas, real tools, bold moves. That's what GenAI Talks is all about. Don't miss what's next. Subscribe and explore more in our GenAI community.